What's cooking, people? To say that I wasn't thrilled with what I saw at Sonyo's Tokyo Game Show event would be an understatement, I feel. Outside of the obscure Japanese trailers we saw for a few games that really didn't tell us much about what they were, and the trailer for Monster Hunter Worlds, which is certainly looking much better now, I'm getting pretty fed up with the amount of rehashes that have appeared on the PlayStation 4 over this young and, for me, miserable, but also successful life. I said to my wife a while back, that I was going to sell that piece of Sony turd that's been sitting under my TV for far too long. But you know what she said to me? Sorry, I can't let you do that. My heart skipped a beat at first, as I thought those Sony drones had affected her mind and turned her to the drone side. But she quickly followed up with the kids use it all the time to watch Netflix, and that's pretty much what my PlayStation 4 console is primarily used for today. A Netflix box, which is pretty dark times, especially for me who loves video games. My hate for the PlayStation 4 side, it has one or two exclusives that, I say one or two, a few more that are worth shouting about for sure. But the wealth of my small PlayStation 4 catalogue is also multi-platform, as well as games that have, bridged console generations between the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4. I'm going to save my remake and HD update rant for another day. But here we are after Sony's Tokyo Game Show event with 4 games that are all older titles, that I want to talk about, but are they are being given some sort of fanfare welcome as if they are brand new releases. So let's get into them, shall we? Because these were a good portion of what Sony and its developer friends wanted to show off at Sony's current generation console, the PlayStation 4. Let's start with our good friends over at Konami. We find out that Zone of the Enders is coming back. A series where, if someone was going to ask me would I prefer a new Metal Gear Solid or a Zone of the Enders title, my hand would shoot straight up in the air for the latter. I very, very much enjoyed both Zone of the Enders when they came out on the PlayStation 2 way back in the early 2000s. Fast, fun, unique and exclusive PlayStation titles, exactly the type of content you want on your console. And today we find out that Konami are bringing back Zone of the Enders, but we quickly find out that it's merely another HD port of the PlayStation 3 HD port, but this time with a first-person mode, so you can play the game in VR. Yay! That was a sarcastic yay. If you didn't catch on just then. Honestly, for 14 years, I believe it is, we've been waiting for a new Zone of the Enders. I think that's almost as long as I've been waiting for the new F-Zero. But 14 years for a new Zone of the Enders, and we get this lazy ass port with a first person mode, because that's all it is. In truth though, once again, Zone of the Enders was a Kojima game. And with that douchebag, currently suckling on Sony's nipples elsewhere, and the state of Konami are in right now, the chances of a true new Zone of the Enders is as hopeful as, say, Microsoft creating an exciting new IP, which, let's be honest, people, that's never going to happen. I feel like this is just such a waste of VR, and I'm just getting this Sony 3D TV feeling all over again, where they hype up this thing that they're trying to bring in and really don't do anything meaningful. Then we have the announcement that Final Fantasy 9 is coming to the PlayStation 4. I was like, what? Especially after the Final Fantasy 7 remake. But oh god, actually don't even get me started on the Final Fantasy 7 remake. That's another long story as well. But a lot of people didn't play Final Fantasy 9. It's actually one of the most underrated Final Fantasy games from that era, or in a series in general. And you know, character design wise, just go and look at the character designs for Final Fantasy 9 and then compare them to what we've got today with like Final Fantasy 15, and trust me, it's night and day, people. You know, God, this game even had its own trailer at this event, you know, which means this has to be something exciting, right? Wrong. it's literally a HD port of the PS1 game, and I say HD port, you know, laughing to myself, because Square hasn't even made the effort to create high resolution backgrounds for this game, you know, at least judging off the trailer I saw. You know, honestly, why was this even an announcement? I just don't get it. Moving swiftly on before I go flip mode, even though it's probably too late by now. you know, we have Dragon's Crown HD, you know, another game that popped up on the PlayStation 3. You know, one that I own, as you can see here. I have no real gripes against Dragon's Crown. You know, Vanillaware creates some stunning looking 2D games, you know, so I'm a fan. But, you know, Dragon's Crown didn't, you know, I didn't actually complete it. You know, underneath all that lovely art style, you know, I found a pretty generic side-scrolling, you know, beat 'em up. You know, just my opinion. And, you know, sometimes not even a great art style and soundtrack, you know, can carry you through a game. You know, but hey, you know, here it is again for you in 4K. You know, just in case the previous HD-ness wasn't HD enough for you. You know, oh God, man, I am seriously in a hateful mood today. And finally, we have the Shadow of the Colossus remake. A remake that looks to have more effort put into it than The Last Guardian. You know, a truly original and unique title. You know, once again, you know, no real beef here. You know, at least they are remaking the engine. You know, actually putting an effort into this update. But at the same time, I've seen 2 trailers for this game now, and each time, you know, my knees don't get quite as giddy as they, you know, I feel they should do, especially for this caliber of a game. The original PlayStation 2 game was an incredible experience. You know, not as good as Ico, not, you know, not an amazing game, you know, my opinion, but still an incredible experience, you know, one, as I said before, that needs to be, you know, played. You know, so why do I feel off about this remake? I don't know what it is. Sometimes the limitations of an older console helps create effects that are unique to the hardware, and when these games are remade, you lose some of that uniqueness. This remake for me just looks a little too clean now. You know, it still looks incredible, but just too clean. You know, gone is the murky environments shrouded in that wonderful Team Ico, you know, glowing effect, that ethereal glowing effect that they've perfected. You know, now we have these clear, open environments that just look, you know, well, bland and barren, you know, instead of ancient and mysterious, you know, that feeling that you got from the original PlayStation 2 game. Sometimes I feel that people just prefer, you know, as an analogy, the sound of vinyls to CDs, you know, or the fuzzy look of a VHS tape to a DVD conversion. You know, sometimes things just belong on their original hardware, and I feel Shadow of the Colossus does to a large degree. You know, just my opinion, of course, but, you know, be interested to see what you all think. Anyway, that's my half rant, you know, half news discussion over. Just before I get it out there, you know, before I start bringing back some of my older content that I've been meaning to do for ages. You know, some of my project work that I like to do, whether I talk about, you know, great intros to games or games that have great soundtracks that really add to the gameplay itself, etc. I'll be bringing a lot more of those back, so I hope you watch those and enjoy them. Personally, I thought Sony's TGS was pretty meh, you know, but hey, you guys might have loved it. You know, either way, let me know your thoughts, and as always, thanks for watching. Peace.